Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the NATA PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At NATA PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to the 79th episode of the NATA PR School podcast. PR and marketing laws. Rule 19, the law of perspective. Are you someone who believes that selling more and more contributes to a company's growth? It's true that in the short term, selling more items can help to increase revenue, of course. But those who are trapped in a cycle of discounts, they do with one discount after another, would probably tell you the opposite. I have a perfect example of that. So just a few years ago, the famous Black Friday was a day of discounts really popular in the United States. In the US market, the Black Friday is always a big thing. And it's always the last Friday of November. It's the day after American Thanksgiving, which is a very important holiday for many Americans. And it's so important that this holiday is even considered more important than, let's say, Christmas for Canadians. Well, listen to this. Today, Black Friday sales are common in the Canadian market. It's really widespread now. I even remember the year I bought clothes and accessories from a brand that I love so much at full price. And oh my God, I was so disappointed when barely a month later, 4 weeks later, everything was on sale. Everything I bought from that loved brand, everything was at 30 or 40% discount, 30 or 40% off. Needless to say that I was deeply disappointed. And you know what happened? I completely stopped buying this brand's products at full price. And since then, this brand has unfortunately closed its only store in Montreal, even though it was located in a good mall, in a very busy shopping mall. Of course, I'm not their only clients, but if that was my reaction, I suspect that many of their clients had the same reaction that I had. So is it these sales that are eating into companies' profits? What's the message? What message are brands sending to their clients by reducing the price of their products? What do you think it is? Yes, of course, that their product is too expensive if you need to sell it at a lower price. And you need to know this because loyal customers who see these discounts like I did, will many of them stop buying at the regular price. And several retailers that we know, I've even noticed that clients will avoid buying products from brands that have this reputation of discounting their merchandise all the time. So if you do it too often, be aware. You might lose some clients along the way. Of course, it hasn't been formally proven that sales increase long-term profits, unless you do, like Walmart, this famous everyday low prices policy. Well, it's part of their DNA, so they have low prices all the time. But that's a huge difference, of course. It's not just like discounting and after a discount after another one. You know that everything is always discounted. And this is why brands that offer discounts often experience right after the end of the sales like a huge decline because people stop buying from them. It's easier said than done to resist doing sales after sales when you need to increase your revenue. Of course, I'm happy I'm not in their shoes, the shoes of people who need to increase revenues and sell more and more. But you need to know that the law of perspective requires you to look to the future and not just concentrate only on the short-term sales. We have a client at the agency in the lingerie business that did something extremely, really daring that no other lingerie brand were doing. It's not the luxury brand. It's a middle price brand, good quality products. And they decided to impose a fixed price on all the retailers that were selling their products. When they first announced it, to me was something really unusual. But listen to this. Although some stores, of course, cut ties with them and stopped selling the brand, they proved that it was a winning formula because in just a year, they lost quite a bit of points of sale. Like many stores stopped selling it. But I remember that when we had another meeting, we had meetings with them twice a year. And at the end of the year, despite losing those sales from other outlets, they maintain their revenue. Why? Because the other stores didn't sold their merchandise at a lower price. Interesting, yeah? In the second year, they even increased their revenue by the amount they wanted, so they really reached their goal. Interesting. So that's something to keep in mind. And of course, inflation is around too. And for example, it can really boost a stagnant economy. And when the prices are going up, then we want to do sales, but be careful because it's known now. We know that in the long term, inevitably, the recession is going to happen after inflation. So hopefully the inflation is not going to last too long. And so here you'll notice how the law of perspectives comes into play. So you have to think long-term a little bit, not just short-term. And personally, I do believe that, if you do too many sales all the time, it's not the way to increase profits in the medium or long term. All the companies that we know that did that are really suffering or they're stuck. They have to do discounts all the time. So what do you do? So as a company, as a brand, you need to continue to increase this attraction. How do you create this appeal? How do you make your brand attractive to your clients and your customers all the time? And this is through, of course, PR, publicity, online publicity. Because if you just communicate when you are on sale, there you go, then you have a problem. You have to make yourself attractive between the sales that you do. Hopefully you don't do too many in a year. In France, I guess in other European countries too, these period of sales are really well regulated, so they can't go on sale just anytime they want. And the stores can't do discounts all year long like it is. There's no regulation in North America, and I think it's very bad for the brand. It's really terrible. Many brands don't survive these sales after sales. Of course, yes, the price can have an impact. If you want to discount, and it's easy. As I said, it's easier said than done when you need the revenue to pay for your employees and the store location, of course. But we can see that price, it's not always the obstacle, especially if we look at what the luxury brands are doing. This is when we can see that the price isn't always an obstacle. I hear you when you say that luxury products are not for everyone, of course, and you're absolutely right. But like my lingerie client, it might be interesting to see how you can maintain your price. This simply means that at a more reasonable prices, at more medium prices, many brands would do well if they would better control how and when they offer discounts, for sure. I even had a conversation today with a client who will do for the very first time what we call here in Canada a warehouse sale. It's the first time ever that the brand is doing it. And I told them, you should be very careful. You should say it's the first one, and it's this warehouse sales happens because we're going to be moving, and it's really something exceptional because many of their clients might be really unhappy to see what they're doing and the discounts they will be offering. So hopefully this podcast really gives you a little break in your day and that you've enjoyed this episode. And hopefully it's giving you ideas on what you should be doing with your own business. And I hope you'll be joining us next week. À la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the NATA PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.